Tony T, welcome to the County Line, baby. Glad to have you on. What's up?
Lee, man. Glad to be here, bro. Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely. I ran across you. Actually, hadn't been that long. I've been listening to your music, the music you produced for a little while. I just didn't realize that you were the one behind the boards on the music. So for those who may not know yet who Tony T, the producer, is, give them a rundown of who you are, where you from, what you do.
Man, my name is Tony T. I'm in the building. I'm from a little town called Woodville, Mississippi. And I'm from a community from Woodville that's called Buffalo. And I play music. I'm a keyboard player, music producer, and I'm a music man. And that's what I do. That's what I gave my life to, music, man.
Woodville, Mississippi. That's Wilkinson County.
Wilkinson County, bro.
All right, so you got Buffalo River runs through there.
Right. That's where I'm from Buffalo, man. That's the community that I'm in. You know, Buffalo.
You know, that's crazy you say that, because when I was about probably between 7 and 9 years old, my grandfather was a preacher at the Methodist Church in Woodville, and I'd go down there and visit him, and he would take me to this guy's house. His name was, I forget his last name. First name was Nolan. Old white dude. And he would go, he'd take us hunting out there, and he had the Buffalo River that ran through his place. And we would ride the 4-wheeler in the Buffalo River and cut up and shoot deer and all kind of wild shit.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Do you know the Voorhees kid that played at LSU?
I've heard of him.
From Wilkinson County?
I've never met him. I heard of him, though.
I saw him play one night at Philadelphia High School, and he was the real deal. He ran all over us.
Wow.
So music, I would like for you to, I think the best place to start is just you telling us your story, how you got involved in music, how music has inspired you throughout your life. Kind of bring us, where you started all the way up to now.
Gotcha, man. Well, with me, it started when I was a kid. I was probably about 12 or 13 years of age, something like that. And my grandmother seen it in me. I would beat on buckets, in the yard under the pecan tree. I make a drum set out of like 5 buckets. You know what I'm saying? I used to use those egg pans that they make pies out of. Those would be my cymbals, you know what I'm saying, on some sticks sticking up. Pow, pow, pow. I'm going crazy, you know what I'm saying, playing drums. And she seen that in me, and she would start to take me to musical events. And then I would see bands and stuff like that playing music. And I'm like, I'm sitting on the front row, like mesmerized, like, these guys, this is crazy. I didn't know what was going on, but it was something. I fell in love with it when I first seen it. When I first seen it. So it went from that to I asked her to give me a keyboard, and so she started to invest into me, and the rest is history, man. And I'm still doing it today. That was, like I said, when I was like 12 or 13 years of age. I'm 35 now.
Did you play in the band in high school?
I didn't. I played football for like maybe junior varsity, JV, and then I started powerlifting. And then after that, I just music, bro. Like from 10th grade, something like that. It was just music,
How'd you scratch that musical itch throughout high school? Were you just playing your keyboard at home? And
well, that's a good question. I started a gospel group, and then from there it led another group gave me an opportunity to come and play for them. And at the time, I wasn't even really playing keyboard. I seen the opportunity that they needed a keyboard player, and I taught myself how to play keyboard. Did you
play in church?
I played in church. Yep. All the way through my, all my life. I'm still playing in church now.
So who would you say is some of your biggest musical influences? From the time you were a kid all the way up to now. Somebody that maybe you like to try to replicate their style, or you like their style and their sound.
Man, I was raised on Southern soul and gospel. Malaco music group, Johnny Taylor, Canton Spirituals, Marvin Cease, Sam Cooke, those types of guys, and it's just the type of soul music that they've done, and that they've contributed to the world is just what I fell in love with, and that's what I'm doing now. So what I'm doing now, if you pay attention to it, I'm kind of mixing, I'm fusion. It's like a fusion of different genres of music that I'm doing. So it's like you got the soul side of it, but you also hear a little bit of gospel, and then you hear a little bit of the country. Cause country is my favorite genre, bro. I know all the new country stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just put it all together into one big gumbo thing.
And that's what I love about it. That's what I love about Southern Soul. And I didn't grow up listening to Southern Soul. All I heard of Southern Soul was on the radio. I grew up in Philadelphia, Mississippi, and the closest Southern Soul station was and still is Kiss 104.1 out of Meridian.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And I would listen to that. The Sweat Hotel, come on at 10 o'clock, you know. But that was more R&B, but they play Southern Soul on Saturday and Sunday. But my parents didn't listen to Southern Soul, but old country music. And then obviously the white gospel music, which is obviously different than the black. But I was always drawn to Southern Soul and hip hop for sure. Hip hop's probably my favorite next to country. But to your point, that's why I like your music in particular, is because you do mix all of those different genres and fuse them together and have that sound where you can tell that you are influenced by those different genres that you named. So today in Southern Soul, who, I know you work with a lot of different artists. Me and my buddy were having a debate of who's on top of the Southern Soul game as an artist right now. And his argument was Arthur Young, and my argument was Pokey. Now I'm not going to ask you to make a statement on who's on top of the game, but I will ask you, who are some of the artists that are popping onto the scene in a big way right now in Southern Soul?
Well, right now, as it stands, 2000. What's this month is? March 2022.
I think so.
Man, I'm way in the future. But right now it's King George.
King George.
Yeah, he's the hottest guy.
Where's he from?
I think he's from from the Carolinas.
Really?
Yeah.
Is Mississippi? Are we the kings of Southern Soul overall?
I like to think we are. We are. Yeah, in my opinion, we are.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I mean, Vicksburg's got a storied history of having Southern Soul artists, living there, playing there.
Yeah.
Now, in this part of the state, isn't Arthur Young from?
I think he's from Liberty, maybe Summit, but I think it's between one of the two. Either Liberty, Mississippi, or Summit, Mississippi.
Yeah. So there seems to be something in the water down here because y'all got some good artists that are coming out and producers. So right now we're sitting in Vigor Music Studios, and you said you've been in this building for 5 years. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's about 5 years. Yeah.
So how did you get to, let's go from graduating high school when you had the gospel groups and moving towards present day, kind of fill in those gaps for us of how you got up to this point.
So I started recording, and I started recording using the karaoke machine, like on the two, like we had like dual tapes. One side would play, was play on the other side it was a record. So I would use tapes, and I would multi-track, play one sound at a time, put in the tape, put that tape on the other side, play another sound, switch the tape around, keep playing until I got like 8 sounds and a bunch of air, like no noise in the background, because it's cassettes. So it went from that to I didn't, but my uncle gave me a multi-track rolling recording machine, and then I started playing with that every day until I started making songs that sounded like something. And then one of the gospel groups in the neighborhood gave me an opportunity. The same gospel group that I was playing with at the time, they gave me an opportunity to record their first album, and it did pretty well. And then I went from that to during that process of recording their project, I went to school at Southwest. This was probably around about 2004, and I set up a studio in my dormitory, and we finished the project. And then I started promoting myself as a recording engineer, just off that one project, and other people would come around, and I would do their projects also. And it went from there to just like I say, doing projects. And then I finally made enough money to buy a building, and I put the building on my mom's property. And then we opened up a studio there, and I did more projects there. I was there for probably from maybe 2005 up until maybe 2007, 2008, something like that. Mm-hmm. And then I did that for a while, doing projects, a bunch of those gospel projects. I did my first blues project there was a guy named Donnell Sullivan. That was back during that time. And then, like I say, it was like a lot of gospel acts that I was doing at the time. So it went from there to, okay, let me take this thing serious. So I had my son, Jeremiah. That was my first kid. And I got to a point to where it was time to be a father now. Mm-hmm. So I got to think about getting a job. So long story short, I went around, trying to get a job everywhere that, people were saying that, that would hire me, give me an opportunity everywhere, bro. I tried McDonald's, like Sanders and Farms, Walmart Distribution Center, Walmart, like everywhere that I knew that would hire me. Couldn't get a job. So I went from my mom's house, and I took a leap of faith, opened up a studio in Liberty, Mississippi. And the same day, fast forward, the same day that we was having our grand opening to open the studio, a job called me from Louisiana to sell insurance. So I had the business going, we did the studio thing, took pictures and stuff like that. But at the same time, I was selling insurance. I was more focused on the insurance thing. So selling insurance, still making connections, still doing music. I never let music go, but I was more focused on insurance. So I did that for about a year. Saved up enough money to go and quit the job and open up a studio here in Macomb. So that's when I opened up my first studio in Macomb. And the same thing, just grew it, made it bigger and bigger till we was able to get a place like this where we in now. So that's how we got here. Now we have artists signed under the label, and of course, I do production for artists all around America.
Really?
Yeah.
So you've got artists under Vigor Music?
We have we do.
Hip hop, country, what type? The same genres that you alluded to earlier, Southern soul, gospel. Mm-hmm. Who are some of those artists so we can check them out?
We have the Ville Brothers. That's one of them. That's a gospel artist. Noel and Friends. That's a gospel artist. Jermaine Hawkins. He's from New Orleans. That's a gospel artist. Mondo. He's from up North Mississippi. It's another gospel artist. Fabulous Praise. And the gospel upsetters from Hattiesburg. And then we have the Sons of Christ from Liberty, Mississippi.
Do you get a lot of calls from? Do you have to turn people down at this point?
Yeah. But you mean as far as what?
Like, are you overbooked? Not overbooked, but are you constantly busy? And are you having the same recurring artists all the time, or is it say in a week? Are you doing 5 or 6 different artists? Or are you doing 20 or 25 different artists?
Man, it feel like it's like more than 25.
Really?
Yeah, because I do have a large clientele, like probably over it's hundreds. I've worked with hundreds of artists. Just in this studio, last year we recorded almost 3,000 songs. So if you could calculate that times 5 years, that's a lot of songs. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the clients are recurring clients. They'll come in, they'll do a project. Sometimes a project could take them a couple of months. So I may not see them for months, and then they come back to start on the next project.
So I'm interested in how this works. Do they come to you and say, Tony, I got an idea. I got some rhymes. I got some lyrics. I got some verses. And I want you to try to match that with some music, or do they say, hey, Tony, I need some music to be inspired to write some lyrics, or is it a little bit of both? How does that typically work?
It's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Typically, they'll come in with lyrics and say, hey, this is what I got.
And they'll give you like a melody or
this is what I got.
Or just give you a piece of paper and say, this is what I got.
Just come in and come in and sing it. They'll come in and just, sometimes it'll be a melody, Sometimes it don't be words, just a hum, a sound or something like that. But and then I got to start with a blank canvas, just a metronome, boop, 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 boop. Then, it started from nothing, you know what I'm saying? So that's how. And then sometimes I have a beat shop too, so they can go online and buy and purchase a track, and then they can go and write and create their song around the track that I've already created.
How long does it take you to? I think you put one out weekly. Is that right? Yeah. On your beat shop?
Mm-hmm. Some I put a few out weekly.
How do you? How long does it take you to do one typically?
Typically about. It depends. Right. I can do them in 10 minutes, 5. I like to try to keep it under an hour, somewhere around 30 minutes. If I can't get it in 30 minutes, then it's not the right track. I gotta move on to something else. If it don't come within a certain amount of time, it's not right.
Do you sit down? Like, do you have a designated time that you sit down and you say, all right, I'm fixing to make a beat, or you just kind of kick it around in your head and it kind of comes to you spontaneously, and you just sit down and say, all right, I gotta get that down. I gotta get that down.
Kind of both. I'm trying to get my life more structured, so to where it make more sense. So sometimes I work in the morning, you know what I'm saying? When I first get up, I work out, do my health stuff, vitamins, take, my water, do my little stretching, workout, pray, gratitude, sunlight, all this stuff like this. And then I'm just feeling inspired. So I go straight to the studio. I don't, before I look at the phone or anything, work on music. And then sometime probably about 10:30, 11 o'clock, the phone start ringing. And then I go into just work mode. Now so those first few hours is creative mode. It's just what I'm feeling.
I see.
It's no client work. Or if it is client work, it's what I want to work on.
Yeah.
It got to be the fun work.
Right.
Because everything ain't fun,
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, so do you typically work on your own stuff? I mean, I know you're a producer, but do you also record vocals?
For
like
myself?
Your own vocals?
I started out doing a lot of that, but now not much. I'm getting more into like releasing my own production into my own songs.
Yeah.
With artists. Just say if you can sing and you got a buzz, we'll come together and we'll do a song and then we'll release it like that.
So how does it work once, say I'm an artist, Tony T. Lee Carl wants to come to you and I got a verse or whatever. I feel like I got 3 or 4 songs. I come to you, say I need a beat, and we work on that song and we make the song, say we've got 3 or 4 songs. All right, songs are ready. We want to release it, let the people hear it. What does that process look like as far as distributing that song? Once that song is created and that artist leaves this building, how is that song distributed? Does it go, like, do you sell that beat solely to that artist and it's theirs, and then they can take that song and that beat and do with it what they please? Or if it goes and it hits, does Tony T still have royalties and residuals tied to the music that you created for that song?
Mm-hmm. The way I do my business and everybody do theirs is different. But the way I don't do work for hire. So that means that if we create a song, then I want back end. I want to continue to generate revenue from the song for the life of the record.
Mm-hmm.
That's and I negotiate that on the top end. So normally it look like it's a 50-50 split. And then it depends on if it's a independent release or in a label release, because there's different stipulations on that as well. But let's just talk about if it's a independent. Let's say me and you, like you say,
mm-hmm.
and we release the record. You never released the record, right? It's your first time?
Mm-hmm.
First time, okay. So that means that more than likely you're not affiliated with none of the PROs.
Right.
And stuff like that. So we got to make sure you register properly, because if you're not registered properly, I can't get paid as a producer on the back end. So now I got to make sure that your business is taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
So not only do we have a song that we've created, okay, the song is created. We got a song. Put the song away. Let's put it over there for right now. Let's get down to the business, because remember, the music game is 5% music and 95% business. The music business is. Now if you just doing music, if you just making music, then it's the other way around.
Right.
But if you in the music business, it's 95% business. So we got the song created. No, so now we're gonna do a split sheet. We're gonna say, this is how much ownership you have of the song, this is how much ownership I have. And normally, in most cases, in most independent scenarios, it's a 50-50 split.
50 for the artist, 50 for the producer.
Right. Or 50 for the songwriter, 50 for... And now, this is another thing that happens sometimes. If the artist don't write their own song and they got a songwriter, then really the artist, it's a certain percentage of the song that the artist don't even eat off of. It comes between the publishing with the songwriters and the composer. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And the artists get a certain percentage from a whole nother side of the composition.
The more people involved, the lower the cut becomes.
Yes.
What if I'm associated with a label?
Mm-hmm.
How does that change the scenario?
Okay, if you're associated with a label, you're the artist. Most label deals with artists, and we just talked about this yesterday, but most label deals with artists, most major deals, the label get 80% if it's 100% revenue on the table. If it's $100, the label get $80, the artist get $20. The producers and everybody else get points. They get a percentage of it too, but their percentage come from the artist is 20%. The label keeps their 80%. The songwriters and composers, they still get paid from their BMI publishing, BMI or ASCAP. But the royalties that the label pays out, that 20% that comes from the sales, that's pretty much.
What does the label do?
So
to deserve 80%.
Well, the label is really an investor. They put
the money up.
They put the money up.
They want a return.
And they got the relationships.
Yeah.
That's the main thing, the relationships and the money. If they don't have the money, then they have the connections to get things done. Because there's a lot of stuff you have to do. You got to have studio time. Fortunately for us, we have a studio. We was built around a studio. But let's say if a label don't have a studio, then they have to go out and buy studio time. Most of the time, the artists don't have to pay for studio time. They just go into the studio, write a song. Hopefully, the label will recoup. Most cases, that don't happen.
I think about when I hear about rappers, because rappers, for whatever reason, are always talking about being signed more so than any other artist. Mm-hmm. For whatever reason, but they'll talk about, once they sign this big deal or once they get the contract from the label, and then you often hear them in spats or disputes with the label. And I try to compare that with like sports athletes' contracts. And I understand how that works generally. Mm-hmm. Are they generally the same or same structure as far as, let's say Aaron Rodgers, mm-hmm. He signs a 5-year deal. He gets a certain amount guaranteed out of his $40 million deal or whatever. Are artists given that same or similar setup? I know the money's probably not as big for most artists, but are they guaranteed like a certain draw or a certain salary up front and then, given incentive structures for certain work that they may do? How is that contract typically structured?
It depends. It depends on if you're talking about a Drake or a Kanye, or if you're talking about me or you.
Right. You
see what I'm saying? Now, if it's Drake or Kanye, I'm quite sure a label would give Drake a crazy advance. Mm-hmm. That's the word. But it's also the next word after the advance is recoup. So what happens in a typical deal? Just say I'm not sure what like in sports. I'm not sure like if like they give LeBron $20 million, what he's supposed to do with his money. But in the music business, if a label give you an advance, then that advance is for you to create your album.
I see.
It's to create with, and you would not make a dime of your money off your sales and all that into the label recoup their money. So if a label give you $200,000, you know what I'm saying, they're gonna have to recoup all of that money before you see anything, and then the percentage you're gonna see is only 20%.
So they front you $100,000. Say a label fronts you $100,000. You ain't gonna recoup anything off of your sales until they recoup the $100,000 that they fronted. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Okay. It sounds to me like there is some nasty things that go on in the music business.
It's crazy, man. Yeah.
Having said that, what has made you? What led you to decide to stay here in Mississippi and create a Mississippi-based business based around music and produce music from artists in Mississippi and around this area, which I know you work with other artists around the country. But really the main question I want to ask is, why did you stay instead of going to Atlanta or even New Orleans or California or New York or somewhere else where, you hear people say they got to leave Mississippi to go find other opportunities? Obviously, you've found that to be untrue because you've built this here. What led you to decide to just stay here and build it here?
Well, really, man, a lot of it is God. Because if it was really up to me, I'd been gone.
Really?
Yeah, I would have left Mississippi, man. I was trying to leave maybe 2 years ago. Like, I think like either right before the pandemic or right after. And I had a good opportunity. I had everything lined up to go, but something keep holding me. So, but I think being here though is not much of a problem because I'm building something that could work without me, without my presence, even without my hand being on it. I'm building something that this is really a business. You know what I'm saying? Me, Tony T is different. It's a whole different person from Vigor Music,
right?
You know what I'm saying? So, and then with the way the internet is set up and everything like that, you can network so far with the internet.
So,
I got artists that flies into Mississippi to work.
What was leading you to feel like you needed to leave?
I wanted more opportunity. I wanted more. Just more. But then that's when I realized, I think like now we're and I feel like I reached a ceiling. I feel like I got to a point to where, hey, what else can I accomplish here?
Right. Have you eclipsed that ceiling though? Since staying here, do you feel like you still kind of bumping on that ceiling trying to break through, or do you think you've overcome, being in Mississippi and maybe not being exposed to those opportunities that you would have been in wherever it is you were going to go? Do you feel like you've gotten over that ceiling at this point?
I think I see it different.
My perspective has changed a little bit.
Perspective has changed, yeah. My mindset on what I'm trying to do is kind of changed a little bit. I see more opportunity now staying.
So what changed there?
Because I see where, like I say, if I'm based here and everything, I can still travel the world. Like I'm on a studio tour now. I'm gonna be my first stop was Atlanta. I'm gonna be there for 2 days producing in one of Atlanta's top studios. Then I leave there, I go to Mobile, do the same thing. We're working on other stops, California, Texas, New York, stuff like that. So, and I'm still in Mississippi.
That's cool.
You see what I'm saying?
That's cool. You're one of the many reasons that I wanted to speak with you and I admire your story is the fact that you have done this in Mississippi. People think it can't be done.
It can be done.
And I wanted to highlight you to give people in Mississippi, proof. Like hey, motherfuckers, we can do this shit.
Yeah.
You know, we may have to do it a little different. We may have to be a little more creative. You know, we may not have the label money at first that Atlanta or New York or Miami does. And I'm not saying there's not a place for those environments. That's not what I'm saying at all. But people in Mississippi tend to think that they always have to leave just to get started.
That's the same thing I was thinking, though. That's the same. That's exactly how I felt, you know. And for a long time, I didn't feel like that. I feel like Mississippi, and I'm saying, I'm back to a place now where I feel like I'm cool in Mississippi. But I got to a point to where I felt like I had to leave. But then before that, I feel like, man, everything that I needed is right here. Because this one thing I think, opportunity is where everybody else run away from. When they running away, if you stay there, that's where the opportunity. That's where the gold mine is. That's what I think.
I agree with you. I think there is so much talent in Mississippi that goes undiscovered. But if there were opportunities for that undiscovered talent to just go record, you know, close to home, it would be more realistic for those artists who are undiscovered, and we would become to realize that even more. And I'm sure you yourself have seen that firsthand, having a studio here in Macomb or in Liberty.
Yeah, definitely, bro. And I think when I say trying to escape Mississippi, I think what it was for me mostly was a mindset, and I had to shift my mindset. I was trying to escape the mindset that had been beaten in my brain, that you have to leave Mississippi to become successful, and you really don't. I'm successful here in Mississippi.
I agree with that.
You know,
why do you think? And this isn't just directed towards solely music or entertainment. In general, why do you think we have that instilled in our brains that we have to leave to be successful? Why? Because I've been a victim of that same mindset, and I've often asked myself that same question, and I've often debated, you know, should I stay or should I leave and try to go chase whatever the dream is? You know,
right?
Why do you think that's instilled in us, and why do you think we have that line of thinking?
I think because, you know, before we had limited resources. I think, like, for the people that's ambitious, that's very ambitious, and that you know, because you can't do nothing by yourself. If you want to become successful, you know, in anything that you're trying to do, really anything, you can't do it by yourself. If you're trying to go up to the next level in your job, you got to do that with people. So if you are trying to achieve a goal, you need people, right? But if everybody that you run into, that you're trying to get to help you get to your goal, their mindsets is not there because they have the same mindset. Man, I'm trying to go. Or I think it's fine. I'm cool.
Just gonna chill.
I'm just gonna chill. Then that's a problem. So for those people that just say like me, I feel like I gotta go find those people. I gotta go find the opportunity. Cause I feel like everybody was asleep. But when I'm doing this, I'm going 100 mile per hour. Everybody, man, we cool. We good.
Sounds to me like you're hinting at getting around like-minded people.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now I do agree with that. I do think, but see, in Mississippi particularly, we have talented people regardless of the field, but particularly and specifically in entertainment, specifically music, and even comedy. I think we have great comedians. But let's take comedy for example. If you want to do comedy, I don't know where you go.
Guess what? Right.
So that's a problem, and I think, but it can be solved. But by the time I die, I hope that I have a hand in ensuring that Mississippians have a place to express themselves creatively.
Yes.
Multiple places.
Right.
And it starts by building what you're referring to as a like-minded community who has that same mission, who has that same goal to provide those resources and communities and that networking. Networking's so important.
Oh yeah, definitely, bro. And community is also.
Absolutely. And that's why I'm with the county line. That's one of the biggest things that I want to do. If I can connect people, I don't even have to benefit from it. But if those people can come together and network and build a community and realize that they're only 2 hours from each other, instead of thinking and that they can work together instead of thinking they've got to go to Atlanta or Nashville or whatever. That's a win.
Right, bro. I agree 100%. And I think a lot of time too, that's, when we figure out how to solve problems like the issues like that, then we'll see a lot of folks, we'll see the issue of wanting to flee, kind of go away.
I think you've nailed it right here. I think
Really?
that's the answer. I think what you have done and are doing right here is the answer.
Appreciate it.
I think we need to look at your example and work our ass off to have more entrepreneurs and businessmen and music producers and entertainers, whatever the field is.
Right.
We've got to have people get in these buildings in these downtowns in small towns in Mississippi and just be creative.
Bro, that's the magic word, bro. Create. You got to create, think. That's what I was saying. My mindset had to change. Thinking is all about the mind, the brain, being creative, using our imaginations and creating.
It's a powerful thing.
It's one of the most powerful things that God gave us. It's the most powerful thing that dead in our tongue.
Yeah.
We can speak whatever we want, but if we can't think it, we can't speak it. It's so with the mind.
It's so crazy to me that the older I get, I change, but we don't realize we're changing in the moment. Mm-hmm. It's only, at least for me, like I can take a step back sometimes, and it's hard to do because we're always going 100 miles an hour and, going to this thing. And like she was saying earlier, she got the kids get going here, there, running everywhere. And before you know it, the day's over, right?
Right.
And then you start stacking those on top of each other. Before you know it, a week's gone, a month's gone, a year's gone. Mm-hmm. But if we allow ourselves to step back and self-reflect and intrinsically look at ourselves and critique ourselves and also forgive ourselves and congratulate ourselves, all of those different things, and zoom out and say, how different am I now than I was 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 6 years ago? It's so crazy to think how much we change.
Man.
But what I find even cooler is that if I set a goal for myself and say it's a 2-year goal and I reach it or I get close, and then I get to the end or I get to the goal and I meet it and I look back and I actually accomplished something over a 2-year span or whatever the time frame is, that is one of the greatest feelings, along with creativity, that I personally can have as well. Do you find that in your music? Do you find that feeling in your music when you're working on projects?
Yeah, man. I think that's what we do it for, man. That's why I do it, for that feeling right there. The feeling of achievement, the feeling of creating something and setting out for something and get it done. And you hear it on the radio. You hear millions of people bumping it. You know what I'm saying?
Do you ever create something and you hear it and you're like, damn, I don't know if I can believe that I actually created that. Like, cause you like it so much and you're so impressed by it and you just, it's tight and it's,
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Yeah, that's hell yeah. It's been tracks I'll be like, damn, I put that shit came together perfect for real. Cause sometimes it clicks even with songs that people like. Some of the songs that people like the most, I don't like them.
Yeah,
I think it's some of the songs be the worst songs. That I do. And and even like the beats, some of these beats that people may buy, they like. I'm like, damn, you like this one? Okay. I thought you would have liked this one, but you like, So yeah. To answer to your question, yeah, I kind of forgot where we was going with that one, but I kind of went down that rabbit hole. But yeah, man, I'm with it.
Dude, you seem to be a natural at the podcasting thing.
Man, don't tell me that, bro.
You do.
You got me down here dropping lights and everything, dropping lights.
Yeah, that was a bad timing for that comment, but you really do. You really do seem like. Have you done anything of this nature before?
I've done a few interviews, but I think this is my first podcast on the county line with my boy Lee. This is your boy Tony T. I'm in the building.
Tony T, the latest and greatest member of the county line, man. So there are a couple of guys in Philadelphia who I went to school with, who are also dabbling in Southern soul music. Okay. Started off in hip hop and still do a lot of hip hop, rap music. Cole Making Moves. He's a producer. He's from Philadelphia. He now lives in Livingston, Alabama. Mm-hmm. But he produced an album for Too Smooth, who is also from Philadelphia and has been pretty popular around our area. Got a little radio play. And they're also members of the County Line. So we're starting to rack up the members of the music community.
I'm surrounded by greatness.
Hey, man, I am so grateful that you know, all I had to do was I emailed Tony T, and we shot a few emails back and forth, and then got his phone number, called him, and it was just like we was boys,
that's
man.
It, bro. We family, man.
That's what it's all about. That's the networking that's got to happen.
Yeah,
you know, that's the networking that's got to happen because we've got the people and the brains. I think another thing that happens to Mississippians is we start to want to play a victim card because we've been first and worst of so many things, and we've been kind of looked down upon, I feel like, from the rest of the country. And maybe not. Maybe that's just our mentality that we've got to grow out of and recognize that we're not dumbasses and we actually can accomplish great things.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Go back to that mindset thing that we was talking about earlier. And then it goes back. It's about the information, man. People, we got to get the right information.
Because, so, what led you to have that perspective change?
Shit. I got a good partner, a good lady.
Yeah,
she keep me sharp on information. And then just the desire, knowing that insanity. Can't keep doing the same thing, expecting different results.
Do you what do you do outside of music?
I'm a father. That's it, bro.
What's Tony T like to do? What do you like? Do you like movies? You like TV shows?
Movies. I don't like TV shows.
You like to cook?
I like to barbecue. I'm a barbecue guy.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And
what you be whipping up?
Well, I used to anything, bro. Anything like pork, any briskets, you know, turkeys, whole chickens, whatever. I cook anything from anything small to the smallest vegetables, you know what I'm saying, fruit. You know, I don't eat meat anymore. I stopped eating meat probably about almost 6 months ago. I still eat seafood, but so that's all I've been getting down with is like seafood and fish and vegetables on the grill.
Did you see any big changes in your, you know, how you feel when you stopped eating meat?
Yeah.
Feel lighter and more energetic?
Yeah, more energetic, more light, more energetic. My mood different, like more happy, you know what I'm saying? More endurance.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, that and my skin, I think my skin look a little better and stuff like little stuff like that.
Little subtleties here and there.
I will say some crazy stuff, but I don't want to put it out there like that. Even like, you know, like when I take a dump, you know what I'm saying? It's clean, bro.
That's a good
clean
feeling.
Poop, man.
That's a good feeling.
Hey, you know,
that's a good feeling.
Yeah,
you get the clean swipes.
Yeah, man, it ain't much.
Yeah, that is a good feeling.
Yeah, 1 or 2 swipes, you know, you gone.
Tony T asked me before the podcast, if we could curse on the county line, and the regular listeners are laughing right now because they were like, "Man, Lee a fool, he cutting up, saying all kind of shit." So,
and on my, yeah, bro, I like it. I'm enjoying myself here with you, bro.
Yeah, man. So let's talk about. I want to talk about live Southern Soul performances. I went and saw Pokey and Willie Clayton at the Silver Star Casino in Philadelphia a couple months ago, probably. And I wasn't expecting a live band. I knew there wasn't going to be a live band, but while I was at that show, the wheels started turning in my head. And I think I know the answers to these questions that I'm asking, but I want to get your response.
Okay.
Why don't Southern Soul artists carry live bands or at least a couple of instruments on the road with them anymore?
I think the biggest answer to that is money.
That's what I figured.
Yeah. It's just
they keep the pot.
Yeah, keep the pot.
Do you think that takes away from
the experience for the fans? I think so.
Could there not be, and it may just be too much trouble. It may be too much trouble and people don't want to deal with it. You can put your music on an electronic device, hook it up to the speakers. It's easy. It's portable. I get it. But could you not make the same or at least close to the same percentages by having a band providing a more exciting product? Yes, you would have to charge more money, but the experience would be greater. Mm-hmm. Do you think that could work in today's age?
I think it could. Man, my thing is when you put on a show, like, you know, it if it was me, it'd be like the next level type show. I want light, smoke, camera, action, everything going off. So when you go when you bring the fans out, you know, to see this, they get an actual experience. It ain't just some guys on the stage just singing, you know what I'm saying? But that's me. But I think it really comes down to the promoters that's putting these shows on. They got to put the money into, you know, they got to have the vision to make the show as big as possible. Because the artists, their only job is to get up on stage and perform. You know what I'm saying? So if the promoter not paying them, and it can go both ways, but if the promoter is not willing to pay them enough to bring the band, then, you know. But from the artist perspective, hey, how much are you willing to do, you know what I'm saying, to make sure that your fans get the best experience at these shows?
So where does the promoter fall in this whole thing when you go into scheduling live shows and, you know, artists going on tour? What is the role of the promoter?
Okay, it depends. Okay, so if it's two sides. So most time when artists go on tour, they're booking their own tour. They're booking their own shows. Now you got artists that they got a lot of gigs. They might get booked from a lot of different promoters all over the region or whatever, and their calendar may be booked up and it look like they're on tour, but they're really just doing gigs. I think what a tour is when you sit together with your team and you putting together your own dates. You booking your own venues. You're doing your own marketing and promotion. Each stop, no matter if it's 10 or 20 stops, you're doing all that each stop. That's a tour,
right?
But if you're just doing dates, you know, you just gigging. So, but the promoter's job on both of those scenarios. If just say if I'm putting together my own tour, me and you going on tour, we going to Jackson with a few stops. So we'll link up with if we want to, we'll link up with a promoter in Jackson because he already know the area, and we'll give him the percentage to work the show there. You know what I'm saying? To pack out, get the tickets out. You know, the ticket stops, the ticket houses, that, you know, who normally sell your tickets in the area. You know what I'm saying? Then you got Ticketmaster for the people that don't buy tickets, like physical tickets. Mm-hmm. So we'll work that area with him, and then we'll use his contacts with the radio, you know what I'm saying, the media in the area and all that stuff like that. So we're working with the promoters like that every stop. Or he may be able to get us on 5 different shows. We might do 5 stops with him, which is called a wing of a tour. You know what I'm saying? And then now, on the other side, you got promoters that, like I say, they just put on shows. And they'll be bringing these artists like L.J. Eccles, Omar Cunningham. They'll just call like, I'm gonna do 5 shows this year. And these 5 shows, I'm gonna bring Pokey. And then next show, I'm gonna bring L.J. Next show, I'm gonna bring J1. Next show, I'm gonna bring Tucker. Next show, I'm gonna bring Arthur Young. You know what I'm saying? And then before you know it, you got 300 promoters that's doing it all over the region. And these artists is popping up on all these different shows. So that's the other side. But it's the promoter's job to get the people in the venue. It's not the artist's job. The artist's job is to come there and perform.
So who decides how the show is going to be structured from a production standpoint? Like if let's take the example at the concert that I went to recently. Is the artist deciding, hey, I don't want a band, I just want to keep the pot, bring the computer, play the music, and I'll sing? Or is the promoter saying, we're not going to pay you X amount of dollars to bring your band. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. It could be both of those things.
Okay.
Because it's all about what you negotiate.
And it can be different, obviously, between this venue and this venue.
Right.
Do you feel like there are formidable, competent promoters in the Southern Soul genre? Do you think there are some?
Yeah, you have some that we know if they put on a show, it's gonna be what it is. Okay, whoever do Spring Fling in Alabama, we know that that promoter gonna do his job. He gonna have, it's gonna be bands there, it's gonna be lights, it's gonna be 30,000 people out in attendance. We know it's gonna be there. It's gonna have the right sound. Mm-hmm. Everything gonna be on point. So you have those.
There's probably, correct me if I'm wrong, different regions who are known for having better promoters than others. Is that a recurring thing that happens? Say in Alabama, the Spring Fling sounds like they got a pretty good promoter, but in another part of Alabama or Mississippi, maybe known for having some raggedy ass shows.
Have a what they call a janky promoter.
Yeah,
that's the one that have you in the. You don't know what the hell you about to perform at. You know what I'm saying? We know we gonna be in New York, but I ain't know we was gonna be down here to play in the damn store. So yeah, that's in everything though, bro.
What about? Do you feel like Southern Soul, the genre itself, is underserved from a media perspective? Do you feel like it's underserved from a publicity and receiving coverage?
I think, man, it's crazy because I got two sides to that answer too. It's crazy, bro. This is something that we learned too. It's never one answer. It's never just this is the way. So to answer the question, I think it did, because if you look at people like Johnny Taylor and those guys, mm-hmm. those guys were mainstream artists.
Yes.
It wasn't like it wasn't no hole in the wall, or these guys was like big artists, you know what I'm saying? And even now, it may not. It seemed like because the genre, I don't know what happened, because I'm not an expert, but some type of way, this genre called Southern Soul, it's easy to get in now. Everybody have the same voice almost, So, what was your question, bro?
Do you think that
my first time?
Do you think that Southern Soul as a genre is underserved from
the media?
From receiving media attention and radio, publicity and coverage.
Yeah, I think so. But I think the problem with that is we got to have more people like you that's stepping out forward and have with the vision to put together, because everybody can't be artists,
right?
Everybody can't be promoters. Everybody can't be music producers. Everybody can't be podcast hosts. Mm-hmm. Everybody can't do this. So we got to have people that got the mindset and willing to step out there and come from drive 5 hours to Macomb to do a podcast with Tony T. We got to have them type of people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So until we get that, then we're going to continue to suffer from a media standpoint.
Why do you think the sound, you alluded to the sound kind of being similar across artists? Why do you think that is?
I think in music, period, not just Southern Soul, I think people just tend to do what's hot, what's trending at the moment, and just go with it. It's easy. That's the easy thing to do. Just go with what's hot.
Also, I think, and I'm sure you probably
it's easy to follow the crowd, man.
Yeah, it is. It is easy. It's easy to ride waves too.
It's easy to ride the waves.
It's so easy to ride waves. Yeah. The technology, look, I'm grateful for it, because me and you are sitting here with a MacBook and 2 microphones and an interface, and we can broadcast this to anybody in the world who wants to hear it. So I'm thankful for it. Yes. But also, there's 2 sides of that coin, because the same thing is true in music. You can have relatively inexpensive equipment and create music and put it out there. Now there's 2 things that happen there in my opinion. one thing is you end up hearing people that you never would have heard.
Right.
Okay. And that's a good thing. You know, you end up discovering artists that in 1975 or 85 or 95, even 2005, without that technology being inexpensive relatively, we would have never heard them because they wouldn't have been able to afford to access that technology. So that's a good thing.
Right.
But also it creates the barrier for entry becomes less difficult. So like you were saying, more people can get into the genre, and I think that ends up having an effect on the quality of the music as a whole. What would you say to that?
Man, all I can say, the cream always rise to the top.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is, what field. The cream always rises to the top. The best are always going on. The brightest stars are always going to shine.
Exactly, bro. Every night.
Yeah. So what you got going, man? What you got in the pipeline? You got anything you want to let people know you got coming down the pike?
Oh man, right now I'm just working on more tracks coming to TonyTBeatShop.com. That's TonyTBeatShop.com. TonyTBeatShop.com. I got tracks coming every week. That, and then like I say, we got the studio tour popping off, so we're gonna be popping up in different cities all around America.
So what will that look like for you?
For me,
what will you be doing in these? Obviously producing music, but how is that structured? How did that even come about?
Just thinking, man. Just thinking of trying to figure out ways to take this thing to the next level, bro. So I've always wanted to travel and do music, you know, and really the praying, you know, asking God, and then he just dropped the idea on us, and did not hesitate one bit. Went straight to the computer, made the flight, made the phone calls, made it happen. So what it is we'll be dropping in these cities, renting out some of the hottest studios in the area, giving artists a chance to work in major studios, you know, capturing footage, getting professional sound, getting the professional quality recording. So really, we don't want nobody that's not, you know, that don't want that. You know, we want a certain caliber of artists anyway.
Absolutely.
We don't want to give nobody. I mean, if you think you want the opportunity, you know, we're not, you know. But so we'll be bringing artists to the studio. I do a track. They'll get one Tony T track, and we'll have 4K footage that we can use for marketing and promoting. And we'll have an engineer there, and it'll be me producing and making sure that we're getting the best out of the song and out of your vocal performance.
So are you going to be taking these artists with you, or will you be meeting them in these cities?
We'll be meeting in the cities. It'll be artists that's close to these cities.
I got you. So you've reached out and you've booked studio time in particular studios?
Yeah.
And then you're going to have the artists come in those areas and y'all work together and collaborate?
Right.
How often do you use what we're using right here, the Blackmagic camera?
It's been used. We use it often. We do music videos with it. And also just behind the scene documentary type stuff. Just
that's cool as shit.
Footage. Yeah, bro.
I got a camera and I got all these cords and shit, and I got on YouTube and I was looking up like how to, because I want to put the podcast on YouTube and like stream it and shit, you know.
Yeah.
And man, I got all these cords and this tripod and shit, and then here you go, this simple little setup that makes so much more sense.
Yeah, it's beautiful, man.
Yeah, you got these two lights right here. For those of y'all listening, Tony T and his old lady's recording us, and he's just got this simple setup. It's so smart, and my dumb ass is over here trying to make it rocket science.
Hey man, less is more.
You damn right it is. You damn right it is. So you got a session coming up in about 30 minutes?
Yeah, about 30 minutes or so.
Well, Tony T, man, it's been a pleasure. And
damn, that was fast. Man, we done? That's it?
That's it.
Damn. It's amazing, man. Had a great time hanging out with you on the
man. I appreciate you. I appreciate you doing this. This won't be the last time.
Yeah, bro.
This won't be the last time.
No more questions, bro? Nothing else?
Oh yeah, I can ask all day long. I just don't want to run. I don't want to bump up against you next session.
Oh no, bro. You good, man. You good. I think we straight.
I do have one more question for you. This may be the most important question.
Okay.
Tony T, would you be willing to let a white boy spit his bars up in the booth in here?
Bro, Man, you see that mic right there, bro? That mic got your name all over it, bro.
Dude, that mic, that's the kind of mics I want to get for the podcast. That's a Shure. Is that what it's?
Shure 7B, bro.
That's like the best in the business, isn't it?
That's like the best in the business, bro. Especially for podcasts, man. Damn, I wish I was able to just let you have it, motherfucker.
Hey, I've been stacking. Stacking. I'm gonna get me a couple.
Wow.
I'm gonna get me a couple.
I might be able to help you, man. You know, we never know. You never know, bro.
Yeah, I've got a couple bullshit ass rap songs that I've done. I'll let you listen to them. I think my lyrical content is decent.
Yeah.
My vocals are just not the vocal sound quality.
Yeah. You just don't like to hear yourself.
No, I like to hear myself. I just think I know that I have not learned enough to be able to get the best sound.
I got you, bro.
I don't mind hearing myself. I've gotten used to it now because I've done this for, I think Tony T, I think you're like 57 or 58 episode.
You baked in, bro.
Yeah. So I'm in there like booty hair.
Yeah. Hey man, you got the stuff though. I mean, with this right here, you got what you need to do it, man. Really. I don't know why you're not getting the sound. I can take this and we can make like a number one song right now.
I hadn't put the time and effort in to learn it.
That's the problem.
That's right. That's right.
So it ain't that you can't. You can do it. You know, so you just got to decide to do it.
I fully believe, and I'd like to get your take on this. I fully believe that we can do pretty much anything if we're willing to be real with ourselves and say, look, motherfucker, you gotta put the work in and you gotta practice and you gotta get reps. Right. And if we get reps over time, shit just becomes second nature and you get better and you don't even realize you're getting better. Do you find yourself, getting better at things quicker the longer that you've been doing it, or are there still some learning curves here and there with maybe it's a new something you're using to produce music or new technology or something like that? Do you find yourself picking up on it quicker now that you've been in the game for however long, 20 years now?
Man, yeah, because I think the main thing with me is I'm a visual, I'm a YouTube type guy, so I dig in deep on YouTube and whatever I'm trying to learn, I dig in on it for however long it takes, and until I become pretty much a genius at it, I think. Then I do it like that.
I'm gonna give me a keyboard. Should I get a MIDI?
You should get you a MIDI keyboard, bro. Akaya, yeah.
Yeah. That's one of the next things I'm getting. I'm slowly but surely. But I'm just gonna dabble. Yeah. I ain't gonna be no Tony T. I'm gonna do it as a hobby, and I'm gonna make some.
You might be the next freaking Kanye West.
I might be, but I gotta crawl before I walk before I run before I sprint.
That's why.
Well, because you don't start out being a genius. You know what I'm saying? Like what I'm saying is I gotta start somewhere. Mm-hmm. And I've fucked around on this thing with just the keys, that shit, and I've gotten better at it to where I know how to do it.
So let me ask you this, bro. At what point did Albert Einstein become a genius? Motherfucker was born a genius, bro.
He was born a genius, yeah. Mm-hmm. But I still believe that you can nurture it and become a genius.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't think it's something that you either are or you're not, regardless of what it is. Some people are naturals, but in general, I think people can nurture a certain skill over time and, get better and get to a point where they are considered to be a genius like Albert Einstein. What do you think about Kanye's STEM player?
Bro, I think it's genius. That dude is smart, bro. Especially like when you look at the way like I say, what we talked about earlier, the way the average deal is structured, record deal. I think Kanye deal, I don't know, but I think he was getting like 12%. When we talk about that 20%, I think somebody said something like 12% of 100%.
What does the STEM player do?
The STEM player, they say, where you can play the music, you can play it fast or slow. You can slow it down, you can speed it up. You can mash it together with other songs and make your own song from it, stuff like that. You know, I haven't looked much into it though. You know.
Yeah, I hadn't either. I just heard some people talking about it, and that's the only place you can listen to. Is it Donda 2?
Yeah, that dude's smart, bro. And then just smart concept, bro.
It is a smart concept. I just wish he'd shut the hell up. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kanye, put your stem player out and go to bed, and turn Twitter off, and just let us have the stem.
What is he saying, bro? What he's
he has a video of him decapitating Pete Davidson.
I heard about that.
Cutting his head off and burying him, and which I like Kanye. I always have, I always will, but like he does shit where I can't defend him.
Yeah, no, you missed the old Kanye.
I missed that old Kanye. Yeah.
Man, Kanye cool, man. I think Kanye just is a freaking creative, like, bro. The dude just if he did that, it's for a purpose. It's way deeper than what we see. It probably don't have nothing to do with killing the guy.
It probably doesn't. Because he was one of the first rappers. I know he's known for producing, or he started out producing, but he was one of the first rappers that I heard that wasn't talking about killing somebody or slanging dope, or it wasn't gangster music. It was something that I could relate to more so because I didn't live a thug life. Now, Boosie's my favorite rapper of all time.
Yeah,
but Kanye, his lyricism was relatable and it was clever and
like still a gangster though.
He still had that bravado. Yeah. He still had that the masculinity to it. Yeah. He was still flexing on them, but he wasn't saying he was going to shoot you in the face. You know,
bro, that's crazy. Because I just realized that the other day that what you just said. I always thought Kanye music was like, man, I like Kanye music, but it's positive music, bro. Most of it is positive. You know, he never really talk about, like you say, no gun violence or smash. Well, he might talk about smashing your chick or something like that. But
yeah.
It ain't bad.
That's like Drake. Drake's like that. Like Drake, he's because he didn't live that life,
right?
You know, he didn't live a street life, so
most of the artists, bro, that's doing it and talking about this stuff, don't live it, bro.
It's cap rap.
Right, that's exactly what it is. It's just rhyme. Dude, sit up in the studio and, man, what can we do to sell 1 million records, bro? What can we say that's gonna get 1 million streams? What can we say that's gonna make this video hot?
Why does that street talk resonate so much with hip hop fans?
Ooh, man, bro, people just in general gravitates to negativity. They just love negative shit. If it's negative, they love it.
Do you truly think that street rap, and I love it. I love gangster rap, always have, always will, but I like to think that I'm smart enough to say, okay, he's telling a story. You know, I'm not gonna let it influence me to go out here and commit these heinous acts and crimes that he or she's describing in their songs. Right. I can still enjoy it. Right. Doesn't mean I have to act it out. But do you think that do you think gangster rap has been responsible for murder?
Bro, honestly, I think it's, of course it has. Yeah.
Like do you think there have been some instances?
I think love music have too.
Yeah. Do you think there have been some instances where, and I'm not talking about a specific instance or anything, but do you think there's been a specific instance of murder that's occurred in this world that had the person who committed the murder not heard a specific song or lyric, they would not have committed that crime?
100%.
I think so too.
Yeah. I mean, music is powerful, bro. It's like one of the most powerful things, tricks that Satan himself uses.
Yeah.
Music, bro.
Hip hop is so poetic, but it can be used and is being used in such a terrible way. And I would love to see for it to divert from that.
Yeah, me too. But I think a lot of these bigger industries and bigger labels and stuff make so much money from the music game to where it's never gonna go nowhere. Now you got artists like NBA YoungBoy that they just banned from YouTube because of his music, but he back on there because his money.
I didn't realize he had been banned.
He been banned. They banned him.
Dude, his numbers are fucking crazy.
Exactly. The money.
God.
You can't,
He sells so much advertising.
Exactly. Bro, exactly.
He gets so many eyeballs on his videos that his advertising
millions.
They can sell advertising on his content for ass ton of money.
Yes. See, bro.
So they put him back on?
He back on.
Did they take off like certain songs and put certain songs back on and like basically censor him or regulate some of the things that he can put on there, or is like everything back on there?
I hadn't done too much research on it, bro. I'm just kind of hidden. I'm a kind of hit and miss guy. I kind of get it, but I think his library, his full library, is back up.
He's so good. I love him. I love him. I love him, boy.
And he's smart.
Young boy.
He's smart.
Yeah,
smart
he
artist,
is. He's a smart businessman.
Yes, the dude at home, bro. He ain't doing. He at home
in Utah.
In Utah,
on house arrest.
On your house arrest, bro. What the?
What you think about
banging nuts?
What you think about Rod Wave?
What about like his for
just in general? You like his style? You like his music?
Man, he's a brilliant artist, bro. I think as like what we hear on the radio and like I think he's a brilliant artist. Like he one of the ones that's gonna be around for.
Would you like to work with him?
I would love to work with Rod Wave, of course.
Man, he's him. Young boy, which young boy kind of comes and goes. Like some days I'll be like, all right, young boy, you're dumbass.
Yeah.
Like, you can't stay your ass out of jail. Like, I'm done with you. But then, the next day I'll be bumping his shit.
I don't listen to young boy.
Rod Wave, I listen to him on repeat.
Yeah.
Kevin Gates, I like Kevin Gates. Boosie, I tend to be into Louisiana rap.
Yeah.
Crit, love Big Crit.
Mm-hmm.
Big Walk Dog is starting to get on my radar from Tutwiler, Mississippi, from the Delta.
Never heard of him.
Gucci signed him.
Okay.
To 1017, and he can go.
I believe you, bro. If Gucci got him, he fine.
He can go.
What about like Dolph, Baby?
I like Dolph. Not a fan of Lil Baby or Dub Baby.
Either one of them. Yeah.
I don't like either one of them.
Yeah.
It just got to a point with Lil Baby where he was just on everything. And I was like, I don't see it. I mean, he's a good rapper, he's good, but every song, he's got a feature with everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what is the appeal of, I guess I just don't get it.
He was just seasoned, bro, just hot, and that's what a lot of labels, if he was my artist, I'd love it because that's what you want. You want artists that can get out there and work it like that. But I feel what you're saying, though. It's like it's too much. He gave you too much. What about Drake? Because when Drake first popped off, he was on everybody's stuff.
I think Drake is top 5 all time. Just pure talent.
Yeah.
Because he can go so many different directions with the types of beats he gets on. You can tell he's highly influenced and he's studied Houston rap, Lil Wayne. Mm-hmm. You can tell he's just well versed on the genre as a whole, the history of it, and he's so clever. His wordplay, his metaphors, similes, all of that stuff is just next level.
Right.
So I'm a big fan of him.
Yeah.
I don't like Northeastern rap, like New York City. That shit, it's trash.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll get on like some.
You don't know Cameron. You don't hear no Cameron.
No, I ain't fucking with Cameron. I ain't even fucking with Jigga.
Really, man? Oh, I can kind of listen to certain stuff. Like if I'm going, if I feel like I want to go out, take my girl out, we want to step out nice. I listen to some Watch the Throne. You know what I'm saying, with him and Kanye, because they talk some big crazy stuff on there. But I'm not a big fan of his either, bro.
I mean, I respect what I'm not going to sit here and say I shouldn't say that he's trash or that New York's trash, because they do have talented artists and lyricists. Like, I respect Jay-Z's skill level and Nas's skill level. Yeah. I think they're poetic, but and the fact that Jay-Z says he doesn't write anything, that's wildly impressive.
Yeah.
So I respect it. It's just not my style.
Do you think it's because of the beat and what they're saying?
Absolutely.
This is the beat.
It's the beat first and foremost.
First.
Sounds like they got metal pots, and it's like it's hard. There's not a whole lot of soul in it.
Yeah.
It's just
sound.
It's just hard.
Just nothing. Yeah.
And I don't mean hard in like it's going hard. Yeah, it's just it's like it's got a bunch of metal in it or something. I don't know. It's weird.
I got you.
Not a lot of groove, not a lot of soul. And then their accents.
Yeah.
You know, we down south, we got the soul beats. You know, we got a little soul in us. Plus, we got that southern twang.
Yeah.
So we can make things kind of fit where they need to because of our slang.
Yeah.
It's just.
So would you say that in general, and just in general, that the beat captures your ear first?
Absolutely.
So what's your favorite song?
Rap or hip hop song?
Just
in general?
Yeah.
My favorite song is probably I Know by Lil Boosie.
Okay. So if you take that song and just strip it with no beat, just take the beat away, throw the damn beat in the trash, and just listen to Boosie's vocal. Would you enjoy the song as much?
Not as much, no.
But you can still probably listen to it.
I can still listen to it.
But how long are you gonna? I
wouldn't listen.
Okay, how long are we gonna sit up and listen?
No,
to Boosie?
I'm not gonna listen to it. I probably run it. I wouldn't like. Sometimes I'll put that on repeat. I'll put I Know on repeat 2 or 3 times. I wouldn't do that if the beat wasn't on it. I maybe listen to it once and put it away for a month.
So how important is the beat? Like in general,
it's essential. I mean, it's essential.
It's music.
Yeah, it's got music. It's got to be there. It's got to be there.
That's good to know, bro.
I mean, it's got to be there.
You make me proud, bro.
Tony T. Hey, tell the people where they can find you at, whether it be social media, website, all that good stuff. Where can we find you?
Look, I'm on Instagram and Facebook as Tony T, the producer. And on my website, Beat Shop is www.tonytbeatshop.com. And I'm here in Mississippi. My studio is located in Macomb, Mississippi, Vigor Music Studios. The number is 601-265-3962. Again, if you want to lock in and get some recording done and get you a hit made for real, holla at me. It's 601-265-3962.
We appreciate you, Tony T. And County Line congregation, I will have all of Tony T's links in the show notes. And this will also be on Tony T's YouTube and the County Lines YouTube. This will be the County Lines debut on YouTube, so just fuck with us.
Let's go. County Line, bro. I love y'all, man. It's your boy Tony T. I'm in the building. Let's go.
Peace.
Get in there.